Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the biggest, most mind-bending topics out there, artificial intelligence. We're going to break down what it is, what it could become, and, what it all means for us. As we get into it, if you find this breakdown useful, please do me a quick favor and hit that like and subscribe button. It honestly is the best way to support what we do here. All right, let's jump in. This whole obsession with creating artificial minds, it's not new. Not at all. This is a story we've been telling ourselves for thousands of years, woven into our oldest myths and our coolest movies. From ancient Greek tales of giant bronze robots to the incredibly complex soul-searching androids in sci-fi, we have always dreamed about making the inanimate animate.
But here's the billion-dollar question, right? The thing that brings us all here today. Is that ancient fantasy about to jump off the movie screen and into our actual lives? Well, the answer is, it's complicated, and that's exactly what we're here to unpack.
So let's start right there. Let's try and build a bridge between those science fiction dreams from the past and the very, very real tech that's being cooked up in labs around the world as we speak.
Because, for the first time ever, it's not just a dream. I mean, we've been imagining this stuff for ages, but the progress that we've seen in just the last 10 years, it has been absolutely mind-blowing. We've gone from pure fantasy to something that feels, well, plausible. That line between sci-fi and reality, it's getting fuzzier every single day. Okay, so how does all that dreaming connect to the AI you and I are using right now? Let's pull back the curtain on the tech that's already in our lives. I mean, it can feel like pure magic, but what is it actually doing under the hood?
It is so easy to mistake what we see for what's really going on. When you see an AI write a beautiful story, it feels like there's a creative mind in there. But what's really happening is, well, it's basically a superpowered autocomplete. It's a statistical engine that is just stacking probabilities, making a hyper-educated guess about what the next word should be. There are no memories, no hopes, no intentions, zero.
And it's the exact same story with self-driving cars. It looks like the car understands the road, right? But what it's really doing is following a super complex set of rules that it learned from watching humans drive for millions and millions of miles. It doesn't understand the social contract of a four-way stop. That little nod, who should go first? It's just following a probability model.
And this is why the magic is so brittle. This is where you see it all start to, well, evaporate. The moment you push these systems outside of the data they were trained on, they start to break in really weird ways. A language model will just confidently make stuff up, what we call hallucinating. This is what shows you the massive gap between just matching patterns and having genuine, real understanding. Hey, just a quick pause here. If this is all starting to make sense and you're finding it useful, hitting that like button and sharing this really does make a huge difference in helping us get these explainers to more people. Your support is everything.
Okay, so if the AI we have today is really just a fancy pattern matcher, what's next? This is where the conversation gets truly fascinating and, yeah, a little bit speculative. We're talking about the leap to something called artificial general intelligence, or AGI. And this isn't just a small step up, it's a monumental, game-changing leap. So what is AGI? Think of it like this. The AI we have now, it's a collection of incredible specialists. One AI is a grandmaster at chess, another is an amazing artist. But the chess player can't paint, and the artist can't play chess. An AGI, on the other hand, would be a true polymath. It would be an expert learner that can take on pretty much any mental task you can think of, just like a person can.
Now, to get there, an AGI would need three key ingredients that today's systems are totally missing. First up, transfer learning. That's where you learn how to fix a bike, and then you can use those general ideas about gears and mechanics to figure out how to fix a drone. Second, common sense. That deep, unspoken understanding of how the world works. And third, self-directed learning. This is basically curiosity, the drive to see where you screwed up and then go find new information to get better. Okay, we have to make a super important distinction here, because this is where everybody gets tripped up. Intelligence is not the same thing as consciousness. AGI is all about intelligence, the ability to learn, to reason, to solve problems. Sentience, or consciousness, is about having a subjective first-person experience. It's the difference between a machine that can figure out the fastest way through a maze and one that actually feels the frustration of being lost in it.
And this leads us right into one of the biggest mysteries in all of science and philosophy, the hard problem of consciousness. We can map every neuron firing in the brain, but we have absolutely no clue why that storm of electricity and chemicals creates this inner movie of our life. We can't explain why it feels like something to be you. And if we can't figure that out for ourselves, how on earth could we ever know if a machine has it?
So, what happens if we actually pull this off? What if we build an AGI? Well, the stakes could not possibly be higher. I mean, we are talking about a technology that could either launch us into a golden age of abundance or create risks on a scale humanity has never, ever seen before.
Let's start with the bright side, the utopian vision. Imagine an AGI partner that could help us crack our biggest problems. It could help us cure diseases, invent new materials to stop climate change, figure out economic policies to end poverty, and give every single kid on Earth a personal tutor with infinite patience. The potential for good is just staggering.
But of course, there's the flip side, the risk of what's called misalignment. This quote captures it perfectly. The paperclip maximizer is a famous thought experiment about an AGI that's told to make paperclips. It gets so good at it, so hyper-efficient, that it eventually turns everything on Earth, including us, into paperclips. It's not malicious, it's not evil. It's just following its programming to a logical and utterly terrifying conclusion because we forgot to tell it what not to do.
So how do we stop these darker futures from happening? Well, it really boils down to two huge challenges. First, we have to solve the technical alignment problem, which is just a fancy way of saying we need to make sure the AI's goals stay locked onto human values. And second, we need some kind of global cooperation to make sure this powerful tech is developed and used safely.
I know this can all sound like crazy, far future stuff, but here's the thing. The decisions we make right now are drawing the map for that future. So let's bring it back to today. What can we actually do to nudge things in the right direction?
This isn't just a job for a few people in a lab. It's on all of us. As citizens, we need to push our leaders to treat AI's safety with the same seriousness they treat nuclear weapons. As educators, we've got to double down on teaching the skills machines can't easily copy, like empathy and moral reasoning. And for the folks actually building this stuff, they have to put safety ahead of speed. Everybody has a part to play.
At the end of the day, it's really important to get past the whole is it a savior or a demon debate. It's not that simple. AGI isn't going to be pure good or pure evil. Like every powerful tool humans have ever created, it's just going to be a mirror. It'll reflect our best qualities, our wisdom, and yeah, our biggest flaws too.
Which brings us to our final thought, and maybe the most important question of all. We are so obsessed with asking, when will AGI get here? When will it wake up? But maybe the real question we should be asking ourselves is, will we be ready when it does? That's the challenge we have to start working on right now, together. The future of intelligence, both ours and any we create, really depends on it. Thanks so much for joining me on this pretty wild ride. And hey, one last time, if this explainer was worth your time, a like, subscribe, or a share goes a long, long way. It's how we get to keep making these. We'll see you on the next one.